Hi everybody, I am Husky Light. Thank you for stopping by. I want to talk about accidents today and things going wrong in your life. When you have an accident, when you get a disease, when you get an illness, when something happens accidentally, when something goes wrong with your car, do you think that's just an accident? No. We now know, as being awake and as being spiritual, we already know that everything happens for a reason, that there is nothing. And very occasionally there'll be things that just happen, but most of the time things are synchronistic and there is a good reason for it. It's not a coincidence. As you know, we have got 7 layers to our body. We don't just have our physical body. So when you have an accident or something happens, or a tyre blows up on your car, the electrics go, you drop something, you cut your finger, there is a spiritual meaning to all of this. This is your guides and angels sort of screaming out to you, stop, pay attention, there is something wrong, something that you need to pay attention, something that needs to be healed with it. So as we go through this, I'll go through some of the meanings of things that can happen to you. Now, first of all, I said we've got 7 layers, like an onion. If you can imagine an onion, or surrounded by an onion, there's 7 layers coming down around us. This is also connected to our chakras. I'm only going to go through the layers very quickly because I'm going to do a separate video on it. I also want to say that the law of reflection comes into this. Whatever we're putting out into the world comes back at us like a mirror, which I'll do another video on. But first of all, the layers that we have around us. We've got the etheric body, that's our first layer. Our second layer is the emotional body. Our third layer is the mental body. Our fourth layer is the astral level, when we get up onto the astral plane. Our fifth layer is the etheric template body. And I say I'll go into a separate video with these. The sixth layer is the celestial body. And finally, our 7th layer, to these layers of onions, if you imagine them like that, around us is the Ketheric template, or the causal body. So we have all of these layers around us, and if one of those layers is suffering, if something is going wrong within us, then we get accidents, we get things happening to us that says you need to pay attention and you need to heal. We have a mathematical universe. There are no accidents. This is very hard in principle to establish in the mind when something bad has happened, because it's very traumatic. You could end up with PTSD. It's traumatic, it's upsetting, but it's all to do with something that needs to be healed, and that being pointed out to you. If you have a car accident, that is horrendous. It causes pain, it causes so many different things on different levels, and we want those sort of things to stop. By changing your energy, you can learn how to be safe when you're out and about, safe in a car, safer when you're doing something at home, walking around, being on a plane, being in an airport. There is a power here. You have the power of your mind as well to help you with this, excuse me. So your state of mind, to a certain extent, determines the wavelength, the vibration at any given time that you are on, and you've got the power to actually change that vibration. It's like tuning into a radio. If you don't like the radio station that you're on, if you're having a bad time there, you don't like the music that's being played, you can change it. You can change stations to one that you would prefer to listen to music that is calming and peaceful to you, that you enjoy listening to, and this is a reflection of your life. So let's have a look and see some of the things that can happen to you, and what the actual spiritual reason for this happening to you is, what your guides and angels are trying to point out to you at this time. Also, before I go to that bit and get into the actual accidents and everything else, I want to say that if you are living entirely outside of the self and not going inwards, This causes deep depression. It can cause self-loathing, self-hatred, and even self-destructive tendencies as well. Things happen where you get repressed hostility, anger and rage. You can have a victim mentality because of it. If you are running around multitasking and trying to do far more than you're supposed to, trying to do more than one thing at a time, this can cause frustration within you, even though you don't actually realise it at the time. If you are being rushed or you are late for something, this causes you to not be inward. You are looking outside of yourself. If you are living any type of overextended lifestyle where there is no relaxation whatsoever going on, this can cause it as well. Being distracted by the TV, by mobile phones, by technology around you. This is all separation from the self through overactivity and being busy, trying to be the perfect mum, trying to get everybody to their appointments on time, rushing around. All of these things can cause, first of all, accidents, but also it's all a result. The more that you do this, you get more repression inside you, you get more frustration inside you. So I just want to have a closer look at these things before we move forward with some of the actual accidents. So, repressed hostility, repressed anger, rage, frustration within yourself. If you are not expressing these sort of things in a healthy way, if you're not expressing your emotions, then somebody will come over and they will do it for you, or they will even do it to you. Yeah, if you have got frustration within you, then somebody is going to come up to you and they're going to show you that frustration. If you've got anger there, somebody is going to be angry with you and you're going to wonder why this person is being angry. But this is a reflection, the law of reflection, that is something that is within you that needs to be healed. Some of the nicest, sweetest people in the whole wide world can get involved in accidents, in bad accidents, and the very reason this happens to them is because they are being the nicest people in the world. If they weren't so sweet or nice, they're safer. This is because the sweetest, nicest people in the world sometimes will be repressing anger or frustration within them. They don't want to show it, they don't want to bring it out, they keep it within them. That frustration, that anger and everything else starts to fester within them, and then it will come out in situations around them, places around them, in other people reflected back at them. It will cause accidents, it will cause them to drop things, it will cause all sorts of things. This is another symptom of your guides and angels screaming out to you, you need some help, you need to be healed. Instead of putting on a mask of continual sweetness and light all the time, we all have to get angry a little bit. We all have to let those feelings out, and we do it in a healthy way. You go drive somewhere quiet and scream in the car, scream into a pillow, put it into something, put that energy into something very physical that can help you to get rid of those repressed feelings, like yoga, meditation, doing really hard housework, running, exercise, something that gets that energy out, gets it cleared, so that you can continue to be beautiful and nice and sweet, but at the same time you're not repressing anything within you that is likely to come out and be reflected to you in the sign of an accident or something happening, or you're cutting your finger or something along those lines. So there's lots of acceptable ways how you can get these emotions out or these aggressions out, because we all feel them and we all have them. It is a part of life. Yes, we are spirit in human body, but we're in a human body, and all of these feelings are natural and within us, and what we want to do is not keep them within us, because then it causes disease and accidents. It has to have some sort of healthy outlet to come through. Okay, so again, working out, doing housework, getting involved in a competition, doing competitions at work if you're involved in sales or something like that, beating drums, anything that brings this out of you, any of this strenuous brushing, cutting the hedge, all sorts of things, reconstruction, changing your house. There are so many different outlets that you can let this repressed aggression and anger through and still be completely nice and sweet and beautiful, because that's how we all want to be. But as I say, if there's something on the inside, don't keep it trapped there. This is what causes it. It's not. This is what you need to do to keep yourself safe. People who have a victim mentality about them, that they're always the victim, that something is always going wrong with them, there are accidents waiting to happen. This is why you will find in life that you will come across somebody who has been robbed multiple times, who has been mugged multiple times, more than once. They're always in a car accident, or something really, really serious has happened within their life, because somewhere within their mentality is this victimhood, this victim mentality. The way to get out of victim mentality, don't read the papers, don't listen to stories, don't watch movies, don't watch television shows, don't sympathise with or even think about any people or animals who are victims, because you will take that energy on yourself. If somebody is telling you a victim story, very, very nicely, just tell them that you have to be somewhere else to see a man about a horse. Tell them that you have to. Don't listen to other people's victim stories. If you are too empathic with people, then you take on their energy and you become the victim as well. Very important, if you're volunteering at an animal shelter or you're working somewhere that interacts strongly with other victims, maybe you're working in a hospital, maybe you're a nurse, you're a care facilitator, you work in social welfare, you work in recovery and rehabilitation programs, please be very careful, if you are very empathic, to try not to be quite so empathic with them. Don't take on their energies, because you will take on the victim mentality that they have, which they don't mean to have, but because of the position they're in, they will have it, and they will have that victim mentality. You can take on that energy so easily and absorb it into your own etheric body, pain, emotional, all of that, and then you can start to have accidents too. You can have it and you may not even know it. This is one of the most important things about clearing and healing. I am extremely empathic. I have to be very, very careful what I watch. If I watch an animal video about an animal being hurt or something that's going on, I just absorb all of that. I get very, very upset. I can't cope with it. And if I don't get rid of that energy that is within me that I've just absorbed from watching something like that or getting involved with something like that, I could very well have an accident or hurt myself. This again is the law of reflection which is coming out. So I'm not saying be hard, because we can't be. We're spiritual and we are empathic, but learn how to protect yourself, learn how to do your healings and clearings effectively, so that this does not reflect on you as much. Put protection around you if you need to in order to do this. You can help somebody, you can be with them, you can care for them, you can offer your assistance to somebody, but you can do all of that while realizing that you don't have to take on their emotions into you and absorb them. You can do it from a healthy distance, really. You can get involved, but you don't take it within you. I hope I've sort of explained that properly. I'm not saying being cold-hearted or anything like that, because I don't mean that. What I'm saying is don't absorb their energies, because it will have an effect on your chakras, your 7 bodies as well, and this will cause you in turn to have accidents or get into the same mentality, or become depressed, or get very emotional or frustrated about things. Trying to do more than one thing at once. If you are trying to multitask, this puts you in danger as well. If you are Multitasking has become a way of life for a lot of people because our lives are so busy and we're rushing around all the time. But you're more likely to have an accident that way. And again, it's your guides and angels' way of saying, slow down, don't do this, this is not good for you. If you're multitasking is good if you are sat in front of a computer like I am at the moment and I'm doing lots of different things at the same time. That is all well and good. But if you're behind the wheel of an expensive car, driving at 70 miles an hour down a motorway and trying to put your makeup on at the same time, this is multitasking. This is not good for you. This is when it gets dangerous. If you are talking on a cell phone as you're trying to cross a busy road, as you are trying to do several different things at once while you're in the kitchen cooking at the same time, you're very likely to burn yourself. Again, this is your guides and angels saying, slow down, don't do this, this is not good for you. But this is also absent-mindedness. This is also because you are so, again, ingrained in things that you are doing outside of yourself and not being within yourself, that it can cause accidents. So again, leading on to being rushed or being in a hurry. Don't let other people rush you into doing things. And make sure that if you are going to be somewhere, please just try and be there on time without having to rush. When you're rushing, you're out of sync with yourself. It's not good for you. And if you're out of sync with yourself, you're out of touch with everything that matters around you. Timing, unfortunately, we have to go through time. It's part of life. It's part of 3D life. But do it in a way where you are preparing for things. Be aware of your sense of timing within things so that you don't get rushed or hurried. This will also bring down your stress levels as well and bring peace and calm to you because you know that you're not rushing, you're in plenty of time for everything. If you have to drop a few things during the day in order to be on time, if you're going somewhere, do that. Do that. A lot of people that are not in the Western world, they don't even own clocks or watches or anything. They don't go by time. They wake up naturally in the morning. They go to sleep when they feel like it at night. They have their own inner timing and their own inner clock. Again, meditation can help you to slow down as well. If you find yourself rushing around, being mad, being hectic, you're almost walking into an accident. It applies to your state of mind as well. Once that becomes a habit, that is your state of mind. Why are you running around? Why are you doing so many different things at once? Slow down on it, okay? If you've got an overextended lifestyle, this is not good either. We're holistic beings in spite of ourselves. We are absolutely consistent in our behaviour across the full range of our activities. If you are in doubt of this, just take some time to observe other people first. Do some people watching around you because it's easier then for yourself to do that as well. If somebody is eating really fast around you and they're not being conscious of what they're eating or how fast they're doing it, you can probably say they also drive fast as well, and they do that unconsciously too. And maybe other things in their life are that way as well, where they're just unconscious and they're doing it fast. This principle of consistency means that you can't be overextended in one area of your life and not in another one. So you're not borrowing Peter to pay Paul in any way. You're not living on money that you haven't earned, or you're living beyond your means. This is also going to be reflected in other areas of your life, as in the way you eat, the way you drive, the whatever. Try to stop talking on your mobile phone so much if you can. This is another way the powers that be want us to live outside of ourselves. It lowers your rational mind. Especially even when you're in a car and you're doing that, it can cause an accident. Do it at home. Try not to do it when you're out and about. Try not to do it when you're crossing a busy road. A lot of what I'm saying is all common sense, and I do it as well sometimes, but sometimes it's good for us just to remember that we need to go within ourselves and stop paying so much attention to our outside world, people who meditate all the time or do an awful lot of meditation, probably more than I do, can realise this. And yes, it's very, very difficult in a fast-paced world, but I used to live in a fast-paced world. I used to live in a world where I was overextending myself, getting stressed, getting out of hand, getting depressed because I had to be on time for things, I had to do things, everything had a time on it, everything had a deadline on it, I had to speak to so many people, everything. You can step back from that. You can make adjustments in your life to be able to step back from that sort of thing and look for your life to flow instead of letting life take over you. You take over life to a certain extent, and that's going to stop some of the accidents that you have as well. So separation from self comes through overactivity and being super busy when we don't need to be that busy all the time. Sometimes we have to step back. This is when accidents happen to many people who are so out of touch. It takes your guides and your angels, something from the universe, to come in and go, stop, stop, that's it, and get them back together with themselves, get you to go inwards a little bit as well for some quality time for yourself. And this is what they're doing when this happens. Many people I have known that have gone through accidents actually see this as one of the best things, and they say thank you for it, one of the best things that could have ever happened to them, because it forces you to stop. It forces you to think about where you are headed in your life and what you're really in touch with, what's really important to you, what's really going on, especially for people that have had serious accidents, where their whole life flashes before their eyes and, you know, they almost went. So it's so important, and this is why they're coming in and doing it. So let's get into the fun part of this and just go through the ways in which the signs that can come in, which can tell you what's going on with your life and how you need to actually slow down. So if we're looking at our body as an energy system, which is actually what it is, it's connected up to the chakras, and it's connected up to all of your other 7 bodies as well, and there's spiritual meanings that go with each one of that. So it's only natural that when you have an accident or an unhealthy belief, it creates a weakness in your energy field, and it will be relevant to whichever chakra is going on with you. So some of the things that we can go through are, I've wrote them down, blowing a tyre on your car or puncturing your tyre where you have to stop. If you think about what your tyres are, this is the support system and the suspension to your car. If you have wheels, it helps you to flow more fully forward within the car. It helps you to travel, to move. If you have a blowout on your tyre, then your guides and angels are telling you that something's not going smoothly for you. You can't travel forward smoothly enough. Do you have enough support within your life? This is one of the things that it can be pointed out to you when this is happening. What about if the electrics go in your car? What about if you blow a headlamp or something like that in your car? Are you seeing fully enough in front of you? Are you illuminated enough? Something is hiding from you. Something is secret from you. There is something around you that you can't actually see. You need more light in your life. When you worry about your children because they're doing something wrong or something's going on, usually children are excellent mirrors to their parents. So whatever your child is doing is very helpful for us as a parent to actually look within ourselves and heal and see what's going on there, in order for the child to actually stop doing what they're doing, because they are being a mirror. So it helps you to resolve issues with them, and it helps you to heal, and it helps them to heal as well. Say your computer suddenly switches off when you're doing something, when you're doing some research or you're doing whatever. This is your guides and angels telling you that now is not the time to be looking at that. That is either you telling you that you need to have a break and get away from the computer, get out into nature, or that whatever you're looking at or whatever's going on that you're involved in within the computer or project is now is not in divine timing for you to actually do that. So you need to avoid doing that. Just go and have a break. Take what the computer says when it switches off. That's a message from your guides and angels. Say you miss the bus. That can be really annoying. You could be late, but you never know. If you get the next bus, there may be somebody on the next bus who you haven't seen in a long time. Maybe you were meant to miss that first bus in order to get a message or meet somebody or come in contact with somebody on the next bus that is helping you. Okay, be careful of not putting a physical thing on everything. Do you know that your toes and your fingers and everything are connected to your meridian system? So if you have an accident there, the meridian system moves chi, it moves life force energy through your etheric body, and it keeps you healthy. So if you kick your toe, stub your toe, or you cut your finger, then there are reasons for this. Again, guides and angels coming through to you, telling you what the main emotion is that needs to be dealt with and looked at. So if you were to stub or cut or bang your thumb, you've usually got something to do with your lungs that you need to look at, or on an emotional basis you are suffering some sort of grief or intolerance. If it's your index finger, it's associated with your large intestine, and on an emotional basis it is associated with guilt as well. So are you feeling guilty for something? Your middle finger is your pericardium, and this on an emotional level is associated with hurt, extreme joy, jealousy and regret. Your ring finger, this is hopelessness, this is depression, this is despair, unfortunately. And your little finger here, can you do that? This is associated with your small intestine, and this is also emotionally connected to things like insecurity and sadness. If you hit the inside of your little finger, this is associated with your heart chakra. This is joy. This is anger as well. So you're going to have to decide whether you are joyful or angry at the time when this actually happens. Your big toe. I'm not pointing down to my big toes. I'm not showing you my big toe. If you hit the outside of your big toe, the top of your big toe, it's associated with your spleen. If you look into Chinese medicine and Chinese meridian systems, you will see all of this, and you'll see the connection with it all as well. The Chinese know a lot more than we do. So if you hit the outside, it's associated with your spleen. It's associated on an emotional basis with worry and anxiety about the future. And if you hit your big toe on the inside of it, underneath, this is your liver, and this is associated with anger and unhappiness. I'm not going to go through all of the toes, but you've got the main idea now that every single part of your body is connected to something. What about your car battery on your car? If your car battery goes flat, you might notice that your energy levels are flat at this time, that they are low at this time, and you need to practice more self-care and more self-nurture as well within your life. You're not getting enough rest, or you're not getting enough sleep, you're not drinking enough. If your brakes fail on your car, which would be scary enough as it is, but this is a warning from your guides and angels that you need to stop something immediately that you are doing and change course. You're not going in the right direction for that. Have you ever thought what it means if you break a glass, if you drop a glass of water, or you see broken glass? The symbolism and the spiritual meaning of broken glass usually means broken promises or shattered expectations. It can also mean that your feelings are being hurt at that time, especially if you just drop a glass, or things may be turning into a crisis for you. You may be getting into an argument with somebody else. Usually shattered glass, when it comes to that in any form, whether it's a drop bottle or a drop glass of water, or you see broken glass on the road, it symbolises how fragile our relationships are, and it reminds us as well that we must treat relationships with extra special care and unconditional love. It teaches us that in these times of joy, we must also realise that life brings us sadness and sorrow as well. but when you're in the middle of dropping a glass or seeing that, it's usually because you're within a crisis mode in one way or another. Now obviously there are absolutely loads of things that can happen to you on a day-to-day basis, which will be messages coming through and your guides and angels coming through to you and giving you messages. But see, these are some of the more physical things, the accidental things that you think are accidents, which in fact aren't. So I hope this has helped you and given you a little bit more insight of when something like this happens to you, just stop. Just think for a minute, think go within, see what's going on in your life and see how you can improve it, because they're not going to tell you something for nothing. So take care, namaste, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.